Good morning and welcome to the unveiling of the Staff Sergeant Ricardo Ricky Barraza Memorial Highway sign. I would like to welcome and introduce Assemblymember Rudy Salas, the Mayor of Shafter, Gilbert Alvarado, the Barraza family, and also the other distinguished visitors from both Wasco and Shafter that have come here to join us this morning. At this time, I would like to introduce Assemblymember Rudy Salas, who will open up today's short ceremony.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Assemblymember Rudy Salas. One thing Mariana did talk about is like how this all started. And it actually all started with her. She reached out, I believe, to the mayor. Congratulations. Mr. Gilbert Alvarado, who then reached out to me. And then when we started hearing about the stories, we wanted to find the proper way to honor and remember Ricky Barraza. And so I think we were at where were we? Tony's Pizza, right here. Tony's Pizza for brunch, somewhere around there. I think it was brunch. It might have been the weekend. So we were there, and this is where this all began. And so what I did was, with the help of the staff, is we went and we got all the information. We did a resolution 70, ACR Assembly Concurrent Resolution 70 to dedicate Highway 43 to the memory and service of Staff Sergeant Ricardo Ricky Barraza. My hope is, as everyone passes this sign, is they begin to start asking questions and say, well, who is Mr. Barraza? What did he do? Why does he have a sign? Right? And I want them to learn about his history. I want them to learn about how he's a local hero. He's a local product. He graduated from Shafter High School. And I'm hoping everyone here will share those stories with anybody that asks. I'd like to thank the family, the friends, all the different service organizations that are here this morning. By way of background for the media and everyone else, today we honor Staff Sergeant Ricardo Ricky Barraza. Staff Sergeant Barraza was born on May 31st, 1981. In Washington, to Francisco and Nina Barraza. He was one of 5 children. In his youth, Ricky loved to play basketball, football, and track. After graduating high school, Ricky chose to dedicate his life to his country and enlisted in the United States Army on August 5th, 1999. As a 6-time veteran of the global war on terrorism, Staff Sergeant Barraza brought distinction to his country. He was deployed 3 times in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom in Iraq, and 3 times in support of Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. On March 18, 2006, Staff Sergeant Barraza was on his 3rd and last deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He had been promoted to squad leader and assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. While helping to evacuate a building, Staff Sergeant Barraza succumbed to small arms fire in the line of duty. He is survived by his family, his parents, Francisco and Nina Barraza, his sisters Amanda, Rachel, and Jamie, his brother Frankie, his fiancee Megan, and her daughter Kayla. Staff Sergeant Barraza received a number of awards and decorations during his service in the United States Army, including the Army Commendation Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Army Achievement Medal with an oak leaf cluster, and the Army Good Conduct Medal with a 2-knot rope, among many others. He was also posthumously awarded the Bronze Star Medal for Valor, the Purple Heart, and the Meritorious Service Medal. He made the ultimate sacrifice while performing his sworn duty. And today we are dedicating a portion of State Highway 43 in his memory and his service. One of the things that I hope is that as people continue to drive down this section of Highway 43, that they not only remember Ricky Barraza, but even in this time as we start getting ready for Christmas and we're getting ready to be with all of our families, that people will remember that the reason why we're here with our families today is because of the dedication, the hard work, and the commitment of individuals like Staff Sergeant Ricky Barraza that allow us to have our freedom that we enjoy today, that allow us to go home and hug our loved ones, to be with them in this holiday season and every year thereafter, is because there's individuals that grow up here that have a strong heart, that have roots here, and that say, you know what, I'm going to do something that's right for my country, but I'm going to do something that's going to help protect our families, and that's what Staff Sergeant Barraza did. And so I will forever be grateful for what he's done for our community, for our country, and I want to thank the family for being out here and everyone that made this happen. And like I said, please, if somebody asks you about this sign, share the story, because his memory will continue to live on forever, not only with the signs, but in each one of our hearts. And so with that, thank you very much for being here, and let me call Mayor Gilbert Alvarado, who has a few comments as well.
What comes to my mind right now is that it's finished. The project is finished. The mission was finished. The mission is completed. I just want to start off by saying thank you, Jesus, for this beautiful day that He has given us, and the day that we're able to come together and celebrate something that was way past due. And I just want to say thank you to all the servicemen and women that are in service, and also our veterans for their sacrifice. Also, I just want to say to Mariana, because of your desire, we are here today. So I just want to just acknowledge that because of you, Mariana, because you had that desire. Thank you. And also to our Assemblyman Rudy Salas, because of his efforts and his support, we are here today as well, and we have the sign here today. So, and also I just want to thank the parents of Ricky Barraza for their sacrifice for this country, and God bless you. And I'm just humble just to be here today with you celebrating this moment. So thank you very much, and God bless, and Merry Christmas.
Good morning. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Chief Kevin Zimmerman. I've been the chief for about 2 years in the city of Shafter, so I didn't get the honor of meeting Staff Sergeant Barraza. You know, often when we come to ceremonies like this, we talk about things in historical perspective. What Ricky was able to accomplish was that he was a hero. He's a hometown hero. Everything that's already been said, we recognize and we appreciate. And what we've done in our department, some of our members, including me, we wear a commemorative bracelet, Staff Sergeant Barraza. The reason we wear that is both for the historical reason, because Ricky's a hometown hero. He's somebody that we should look to in that respect and regard. But I think what I would rather focus on today is what Ricky has meant to the police department moving forward. So when I say that, we recognize his dedication and his commitment to the service of his country. Law enforcement is a paramilitary organization, so we're very service-oriented too. So when I say that we wear these to commemorate Ricky, we also commemorate and remind ourselves that we're here to provide the best measure of service that we can to the members of our community. So Ricky, by wearing this, Ricky helps us remind ourselves that there are people like Ricky out there right now that deserve that level of service. So from the police department's perspective, the city's perspective, I think I can speak for the city, that's what this reminds us of. It reminds us every day that we need to go out and provide that level of service and that level of dedication. So in that respect, that is why we honor Ricky. So I'm honored to be here. I thank the family for being here. On behalf of the city and on behalf of the police department, thank you very much.
I think we're going to hear from a member of the Barraza family at this time, Mr. Gustavo.
Hi, my name is Gustavo Barraza. I am Ricardo's cousin. I just wanted to share a few things about him. Thank you for everybody being here also. He was a great guy, a great individual who always represented our family well. He never backed down from any challenge, as far as I know personally. And he was always willing to lend a hand to anybody. It didn't matter if you were the highest ranking person in the town or the homeless that needs $1 or two. He was always willing to make that ultimate sacrifice that he did for this country. So I just want to say on behalf of our family, thank you very much. This is a unique and great honor for his parents and all of his family. We really miss him. Thank you.
So that concludes our small ceremony that we have. We'll take a couple of photos with the family in front of the sign afterwards. Nomás quiero decir gracias a los padres, para todo. Estamos engraciados para todo que ha ido su hijo, para nosotros, para nuestra comunidad. Y nomás quiero decir gracias por todo, para tener un hijo que tenía el valor, el honor para representar a nuestra comunidad. I just want to say thank you to the family and to the parents and for the honor, the valor that their son, raising a son that didn't back down from any challenges, like Gustavo said, that went into harm's way to make sure that we're here to enjoy the liberties that we enjoy today. And so with that, we'll take some photos afterwards. We do have a commemorative plaque for the family, which is over on the table that we'd like to present to the family after the ceremony, so we'll do that. And then if I could get the family to come up, and together we'll take down the sheet off of the sign to unveil the sign. So if I could have the family come forward, please. Familia, por favor. I'd also like to thank the elected officials that are here. We have Tilo Cortez from the city of Wasco. We have Kathy Prout. I don't know if I missed anyone else. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everyone that's here. Then we'll take a photo. We'll count to 3. But give me a second, okay?
We are here at the unveiling of the Barraza Memorial Highway on 43, and we're here with his cousin Gustavo. And you spoke very eloquently about your cousin and about the family. Can you share with us what today means?
today means, I think Member Rudy Salas said it's the final destination, but of a new beginning. Just how they said for us to learn, to ask questions about him, to get to know this hometown hero, because he really truly was a hero, not just out and serving our country, but from the beginning, how I spoke earlier, as a small kid, he always looked out for everybody, and this means it's just one of the greatest blessings. I don't care anything else for Christmas. I got my Christmas. So, but
when Mariana Sobolewski reached out to the family and expressed that she wanted to try to make this happen, what was your reaction?
I was in complete shock, but full of gratefulness and humbleness, and just willing to accept this because it's well deserved. He deserves this. And just how Member Salas also said, every other service members deserve this also, that has fought for our country.
Can you maybe share a personal story with us that maybe to give us a little personal insight into your cousin?
To my cousin, a personal story. I want to say he was born in Washington State. He lived up there, I think, for 7 years, his first 7 years of his life. And they would come every summer to visit us in Wasco. And just when he would arrive, like the spirit of our home would just light up also. I know mine would, because I had my cousin from Washington to come play with me. He was just always a competitor also. He always went on basketball, on any type of sport. But he was just a great guy all around. There's nothing negative that I can say about him besides him beating me one-on-one. But other than that, he was a great man.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations to your family.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Chair.
We now have Mariana Sobolewski with us, and you were the driving force behind making this happen. So what first spurred you to want to honor Ricky Barraza?
Well, I first learned about Sergeant Barraza when I was deployed myself. It was the last deployment before I retired from the Air Force. And I was really shocked that I hadn't heard anything about him. I didn't know who he was. Now, mind you, I had been in the Air Force for 19 years, away from the Wasco chapter community. So, part of that was, while I have been away, I didn't know, but I was really shocked when I learned about his story, but then the fact that there was nothing to memorialize him. Being from such a small community, Wasco and our rival Shafter, I totally put that aside, because in my heart I knew that this was something big. This was somebody who raised his right hand, took the oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, first and foremost, but then he paid the ultimate sacrifice. And for no public recognition of his sacrifice, that was really unsettling for me as an active duty member at the time, and now as a veteran. And so I knew I needed to do something. I didn't know at the time what that something was, but I knew something needed to be done.
His cousin Gustavo spoke of how you were now considered family, and that they are a shy family, and it wouldn't have occurred to them to seek something like this out, but how grateful they are. What was your experience like when you first reached out to the family?
Well, when I first reached out to the family, we have a mutual friend, and she coordinated a meeting for me to sit down and meet with Nina Barraza. And at first, she was a little reluctant. I was a stranger. Just moving back to Wasco with my married name, a lot of people didn't know who I was. And not only that, but I don't think that she understood what my intentions were. Maybe she thought there was, I had some other intentions for wanting to do this, because why would a stranger want to come and honor her son? And so in a sense, I kind of had to prove myself to her and what I wanted to do for her son. So, you know, like any relationship, it grows, right? And so I'm honored and humbled to be considered part of the family now because I do come from such a small family myself.
And you reached out to Gilbert Alvarado, is that correct?
I did. My sister actually works in the city of Shafter, and she knew that that would probably be a good stop for me. So she arranged that meeting for me to meet Mr. Alvarado. We sat down at our local restaurant here in Shafter, and I told him what I wanted to do, and he was moved by my initiative and was all for it, and said that he would support me in any way possible, and that's kind of how that started. So,
and then Assemblymember Salas stepped in and assisted as well.
Yeah, so after we did the initial, we did a 5K memorial run. We got a lot of sponsorships from individuals as well as some farmers, and we started that, and that was extremely successful. And so after we got traction with that initial event to honor Sergeant Barraza, me and Gilbert sat down and we discussed on what would be next. Okay, we had a successful run. What could we possibly do now to continue to honor his legacy? And so we said, a highway sign. And I said, wow, I was really taken back by that. And so he obviously set up a meeting for me to come and sit down with Rudy Salas and briefly discuss to him why it was so important, not only for me but for the community to do this for Sergeant Barraza. And I believe 2 years later it happened. So it's been a work in progress.
For you personally, seeing the sign, what does that mean to you?
It actually kind of took me up. Now, I've never met him. But as a service member, and now having my own son serve, it does choke me up because there's so many service members who have paid the ultimate sacrifice and they're forgotten, and that really breaks my heart to know that there's a gold star mother out there aching for her son. We don't do it for 5 minutes of fame or anything like that, but it's so that we as Americans never forget and take for granted that he paid the ultimate sacrifice. There's millions, not millions, but many service members who do the same. So I actually drove by for the first time yesterday and at night, and it was just a beautiful thing to see. And to see it now, I don't know. It brings a smile to my heart, and I know that he's shining down on me and giving me a fist bump, or we'll sit down and have a beer in another life or something. But it's truly everything that I thought it would be, and it's an honor to have done this for the family and for the community, so that no one forgets who Ricky Barraza is.
We want to thank you, and the sign represents his sacrifice, but it also represents your heart. And thank you for your service and your